We just got done watching The Mandalorian, episode 7, chapter 23. Holy shit, was that amazing. That was everything that I wanted and needed it to be, plus a little bit more, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what the hell we was about to get into, but I think everything that they did in this episode, it works perfectly for the storyline of what's going on. I'm not gonna lie, it works swimmingly well. I appreciated this episode so much. Everything that we got in it was grade A. The visuals were amazing. The sound effects, of course, were amazing. I love how the Mandalorians were all coming together, letting all those differences go. I love that, they were even squabbling, and she was like, yo, we can't stop it. We just got to let it happen. You know what I mean? Like, I love all of that. I love it all. It's really... They did a really good job with this episode. I'm not gonna lie, I thought they was about to fight the mythosaur or something right there, but it was not the mythosaur. Obviously, I was very confused as to what was going on. I think having Mandalorians already have been living on that planet and have been there the entire time, I think it makes sense. I think it's a perfect fit because, like, that would have been the first question from everybody. Is like, so none of the Mandalorians knew, like, if the planet was inhabitable, then you're telling me that every single Mandalorian left the planet? There's no way. And of course there's no way. And that's why we still see that some of them are there. And I love that they immediately start rocking with Bo-Katan. No questions asked. Because she is the leader of the Mandalore, no matter what anyone wants to say. I love the way that we got Moff Gideon in here. How we first see him on the communicator, the hologram communicator thing. I don't know what that's called. I can't think about it. But I love how they did that because it's very similar how they did like Palpatine and just different villains, in the Star Wars universe. It works really well when you see them through that communicator first, because it'd be like the person that they're talking to is obviously a bad person of some kind. So I think that, and him talking to the other Imperials, I think that all was a really good, like a really awesome thing. And for them to have to basically take the base of Mandalore, it just makes so much sense, and it fits in with so much other things and questions that people have had throughout the years. Like, where have these things come from? Where have these troopers come from? How is it possible that they're able to, fight Jedi so well and all this stuff, bro? Even if they take that out or somehow or whatever, it still makes sense that some of it got out there. There's still some of it there to where it's not going to be what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, just seeing how those troopers and whatnot were introduced, it feels right. It makes sense. I love Moff Gideon's new armor. It reminds me very similar of the armor that the Mandalorian had when they were under the rule of Darth Maul. That's immediately what I thought of, and that's why I was like, oh yeah, this is freaking cheese right here. I mean, that's cheese in a good way, not bad way. Like, that shit was amazing to see the horns on the helmet again, because that's straight out of Clone Wars when Darth Maul, I think that's Clone Wars if I'm not mistaken. It just makes, like, oh my gosh, it just makes so much sense. And then, but still, we don't know who. There still has to be a spy, and I'm kind of thinking that spy is Mandalorian dude that flew away just in the nick of time before all things broke loose, all hell broke loose or whatever, But I'm not 100% sure on that. But it would just make sense that it's him, Like, he's the one that has been picked on, for a lack of a better word, like he's been the one that's had to fight everybody because they ain't feeling him and the way he just presents himself and holds himself. And I could definitely see him rocking with Moff Gideon. It makes sense. They have very similar, they're just very similar with the way that they do things, the way that they hold themselves, present themselves, and speak, and all these other things. So I would be really down for that to happen. I think this episode definitely did everything that they set out to do. Like, I even said this earlier today on Twitter. Like, I'm pretty sure that this episode is going to be a banger. And guess what it was? This episode was everything that I needed. Everything that I needed it to be, like, legit. Like, man, I loved seeing all the Mandalorians together. It just felt so right to see them all together. It sucks how they caught my guy Mando. I'm real sick about that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with him. They just they just hating on my guy. You know, they just, I don't know why they chose to take him out of everybody. You know what I mean? So that was wild, but still, you know what I mean? This episode definitely tackled all the things that I needed to tackle, all the things that I needed to do. I'm still a little concerned about little Grogu being an IG-11. I'm not the biggest fan of that, to be completely honest. I kind of think that's a little weird. I think that's hella weird, to be completely honest. I don't know how I feel about that. It's definitely going to take a little bit more thinking and like reflecting on and maybe seeing it again so I can actually make a proper decision on it. But it was weird. I wasn't feeling that all the way. You know what I mean? But I was feeling, like I said, how the Mandalorians immediately got up out of Navarro. Like, they immediately got Swifty. They immediately, like, everything was just immediate. They didn't waste any time. They was just like, all right, bro, we out of here. We got to go get Mandalore. All right, we on Mandalore. Now let's find the forge. Oh, we found the forge. All right, now let's go to it. Like, bro, we're hitting these things. And then when we see that it's Moff Gideon that has taken the base down, like as soon as I saw the dark troopers or whatever you want to call them go into that room, I was like, yo, that is the exact place where we just saw Moff Gideon. Like, holy shit, Moff Gideon has been on Mandalore this entire time. The Mandalorian is so much more important than we think it is. You know what I mean? Like especially if they're destined to lose this fight type of thing. And then that goes into why the Empire could come back up and all and so on and so forth. Like, bro, it's gonna be insane what we get into next. And we know that Dave Filoni is set to produce a movie or create a movie, or write movie to produce it, whatever. He is set to create the movie that is going to be the amalgamation of all of the Star Wars projects, basically, that we've gotten of the Mandoverse. So Mandalorian, even Book of Boba Fett. Excuse me. Of course, Ahsoka. Not so much Kenobi. You know what I mean? Not so much that, but basically all the other stuff that we've gotten. It's gonna be basically the bookend of all of that, and I am so pumped for that. That sounds like it's gonna be amazing. I hope we still get like one more season of Mando and before we get that movie. But that shit, that shit's fire. Yeah, like I said. The Darth Maul-esque helmet for Moff Gideon was a very nice touch. I really appreciated that. It almost gives him like that Darth, like a Darth Vader type of feel, but the Mandalorian feel, but the Darth Maul feel. It's just, it gives so much substance to everything. And bro, they talked about Thrawn so much. It's insane, honestly, how much they talked about Thrawn. So I cannot wait to see Thrawn come through and look at Moff Gideon like, come on, son, who do you think you are? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think this is? Like, oh yeah, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, bruh. Like, give me all of that. I need it, G. Like, that's all fire, bruh. That was all amazing. I loved that episode. Definitely got to give that somewhere in the 9s. You feel me? For me, it's very sad. R.I.P. to our guy Paz Vizsla. Yo, he went out like a G, and they set my guy up even to go out like a G like that, because that's how he's been handling shit every time he's had to come through. Like, every time Paz Vizsla has come through, he has knocked shit down. So I am definitely interested to see what goes on. Like, I keep saying this, yo, but I'm really thinking that The Mandalorian has all just been a huge, like, backstory flashback for our guy Grogu type shit. So when we get to the future of what's going to be happening, like when we see Rey creating the new Jedi Council that by the way, I had mentioned would be would probably be happening. Like, we're going to nerd out about Star Wars Celebration soon. But I think it would be dope to see like Paz Vizsla's son in the future rocking with Grogu. You know what I mean? Like, that shit would be raw. So I hope we get to see something like that in the future. The future of Star Wars is super bright from what we get set up from this. So I'm really hyped to see what's going to be happening, yo. So let's get into the comments and see how you guys are feeling about this freaking episode. I am freaking hyped. Let's get those thoughts, theories, and opinions in the comment section down below immediately.
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvelbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan. Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.